This is Llyn Hunter, Llynhunter, and today we're going to draw a Colobus monkey. This is going to be the underdrawing for basically painting for my Ape-Abet. I'm doing all the alphabet in different letters, and I'm fitting various apes into, let's see here. No. Let's see here. There we go. What I'm doing, I'm going to show you what I did. I'm Google searched King Colobus, and these are various images of a King Colobus monkey, and I fit it into the letter K. And I'm going to basically, I keep the images off screen as I'm referencing this stuff. Let's see here. There's a good male. Okay. Here. This is a good male. I'm doing as you get a reflection off my camera, but this is a good male King Colobus. He's got this amazing white ruff, and the pom-poms, the way on the brow, that dark black. This is really cool. But I've already done the preliminary drawing. This is my basically I've fit him into the K, and I've got various foliage around him because they're technically tree-dwelling monkeys from Africa. And so I did the original drawing first, and what I'm going to do now is this is my favorite thing to show. This is a kneaded eraser. If you've never used one, they come in square cakes, I guess would be the best thing, wrapped in cellophane. You can get them from any art supply store. You can usually have to get them in a package with a brown eraser at Staples, but you'll find it in the art section at a Staples. You find it's like, I got a few pieces of cat hair in there. Honestly, I cannot keep cat hair out of everything. I have a cat. It gets in whenever I have cellophane tape. Gets in the cellophane tape. But anyways, what I'm doing right now, I'm cleaning the eraser. I've used it for a lot, and what happens is the graphite gets on the outside, and all you have to do to technically clean the eraser is you just knead it, literally knead it like this, and then it gets all the graphite off the surface. Now what I'm going to do is, I did this drawing, nice drawing, right? But the ballpoint pen that I'm going to be using will go over the graphite. So it's better to ghost back, what I call ghosting back. So I'm going to take the kneaded eraser, and I'm going to carefully pull back the drawing with the kneaded eraser, so there's just a ghost of the drawing left underneath. And that's my rough, technically. I try to avoid doing roughs per se, just because it's extra time. If I have to do a rough for an art director, I will do a rough for an art director, but for myself, I don't do roughs. I'll just do a drawing like this, and then I'll ghost it back. So you can see, it's the ghost of the drawing is still there. Even if I erased really hard, you wouldn't be able to see it on camera, but I would still be able to see it myself for drawing. It's almost, when you draw with a pencil, you almost engrave the work into the drawing. So now what we're going to do is, I have two different kinds of pens that I'm going to use today. One, this is a fine point zebra ballpoint pen, and this is your standard, turn it the other way around. This is your standard Bic stick. You could use the clear one. Any type of ballpoint pen is good. I just like Bic. They're gloppy. That's one of the problems with them. And if you find that the let's see here, if you find that the ink is building up on the tip, you can see there's a little bit of residue there from me using this pen. Take it and basically rub it to the side. Or another thing that I do is, I'll have a paper towel handy and just rub off the tip with a paper towel after you've been using it, for so many minutes, and you feel like it's about to drop a glop. You can do it then. Or if it does drop a glop, you can use an X-Acto knife to scrape away your mistake. The thing is that the only problem that I have with I like to try to avoid using X-Acto knife. I often will. We're going to start with the hair on this guy. And you can stipple. The thing is that technically a ballpoint pen is a pen. You know, we use India ink pens. Ballpoint pen may not be as, say, permanent as India ink, but it'll last a good long time. I mean, as long as it's not out in direct sunlight. India ink is semi-permanent, and what it is because it's oil-based, it works kind of like, if you know about crayon resist. It will resist the water, and as you're doing your painting, you'll still have to come in. What people don't realize is when you're using pen and ink as your outline, whether it's India ink or whether it's ballpoint pen, you will often go over your drawing after you've completed, or go over your painting after you've completed the painting, because it'll just crisp up the lines, because you'll always have a little bit of pigment residue unless you're using liquid acrylic. Basically, watercolor will leave residue on top of your ink. So the good idea to go back over your drawing after you've completed a painting. Okay. Now it's like you can tell with a ballpoint pen, it's just like with Indian ink pen. You'll link your lines, or I do anyways. I'm sketchy. I'm very sketchy. I'm not the type of person to do straight lines, but then again, I do when I'm doing my ink work, so I can't really say that. Ballpoint pen has a tendency to have a dancey quality to the line, which is one of the things I like about it. And also, it has a variance of value. When you're using India ink as your pen, let's see here. I'm going to take the lines. Okay, the lines have already been drawn, this K, but I'm going to take a ruler and give it a little bit of a guide for myself. I'm going to go over it basically with just by hand rather than with a ruler when I'm done with this, just because I like to have the feeling of a hand-drawn line. When you use a ruler, you'll definitely get that sensation of it's less warm. It's more oh God, how do I say it? It just feels more mechanical when you're using straight ruler. And this right now, it's just a way for me to get a guide, and then I'll go over with certain parts of this. Might leave a little open space there. So I'm going to just lightly, like I said, I'm lightly going over this with using the ruler as a guide. There we go. Okay. And so we've got his arms here. And you can tell, I do it kind of like very light, sketchy first, and then I'll come back in and go heavier after I'm sure about, okay, does that finger really go there? Is that what I really want there? And so I'm estimating placement of line. Every time I lay a line down, I'm kind of estimating, where am I putting this? You know, even though I've got an underdrawing there, the underdrawing is a very sketchy underdrawing. I'm going to just have him put like a thumb there. So I'm making decisions, you know, I'll do the initial underdrawing and make decisions in a particular way with the underdrawing. And then as I'm going over the top of it, I might change those decisions that I've made in the underdrawing. And that's just the way I handle things. You might handle things in an entirely different fashion. There are artists that you know, can lay down that line solid and heavy. I've been doing this for ever since I could hold a pencil. Professionally, I've been working as a professional artist for about 40 years. I started as a graphic artist, production artist, you know, doing paste up for my and design work for the Association Graphics and Advertising at ASU. And actually, if you think about it, I started actually doing jewelry design for my mom. My mom had a seashell shop. She basically designed seashell jewelry and had a, of all places, a shell shop in Mesa, Arizona. And yes, Arizona with a shell shop, because we used to go down to Puerto Penasco, Rocky Point, Mexico, occasionally for vacations. And if you ever want to go shelling, if you like seashells, you want to go to one of the best shelling places in the world, down near Keno Bay and Rocky Point, man, there is some amazing seashells to be found down there. And we brought them home, and my dad said, you know, either do something with these shells or get rid of them. I think I was 10 years old at the time, something like that. And my mom at the time was a silversmith. Her hobby and quote unquote side business was silversmithing. And she started adding basically bell caps and chains to the seashells, and the seashell jewelry would sell better than her silver work would. And so she got into doing seashells. And so I would, you know, whenever I minded her shop, she had a shop in Mesa, Arizona for a while, I would make jewelry for her. So, and she would, you know, one of the necklaces sold. I mean, I was doing like basically seashells and beads. It was the 70s. So that was, you know, a cool and in thing, seashell jewelry, earrings and stuff. And so that's where I got my start as a professional artist, designing technically seashell jewelry. And I'm more I'm more of a graphic artist. My mom was more the craftsman. I'm the draftsman. I love to draw. It's my passion. I mean, it's like if I go 3 days without drawing something, I go friggin' nuts. Art is addictive, and if you do it often, and you know, each little success leads to another success. Each mistake is a success too. I mean, one of the things I'd really like you to think about when you're drawing is don't worry about your mistakes. Just keep making them, because what happens is you learn how to fix them. It's not making the mistakes, it's not being able to fix them that's the problem. So it's like once you learn how to fix your mistakes, because you've made so many of them, you stop making mistakes, or the mistakes that you make aren't mistakes anymore. They're creative intentions, and it gets addictive. You start doing a drawing and going, hey, I've got a success. What I put down on paper is what I wanted to see. That thing in your head starts being able to be visualized because you've practiced so much. It was funny. I wrote down in one of my sketchbooks recently, that good old saying was that if somebody does something over and over, and was it madness is that's it. Madness is a sign of somebody doing something over and over again, and expecting a different result. And you know what I thought about that, I'm going, that's what practice is. Practice is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I'm going, okay, so all artists are mad because all we do all the time is practice over and over and over again to expect a different result. And often we get a different result because we get better. The funny thing is that you'll find when you're practicing, when you keep drawing, when you keep doing this sort of thing, that, you know, oh my Lord, I've been doing this over and over again and I don't seem to be getting it any better. And what you're doing is you're gradually taking small steps forward and you don't even know it. And I find that if you consider that, if you look to take the small steps, if you get the small successes, that's why one of the things I really recommend, do small drawings. Don't do big ones. Just I have I'll have a video out soon on my writer's block. It is a 4x6-inch sketchbook that has 368 pages, yeah. And the thing is that I just keep do small things, and then you have an opportunity to make the small mistakes. If you don't like it, you can go on to the next one soon, because it only took you a few moments to do that one small thing. One of the things that I find in the videos that I've produced, I have to do the bigger paintings over several videos just because they take a while. You know, something like this will be done in 20 to 30 minutes. Whereas when I do, you know, one of my big pieces, it takes several turn on, turn off the video camera to show you a little piece, but not really the whole thing, because nobody wants to sit and watch you do a traditional watercolor for, you know, the anywhere from 3 to 10 hours that it will take to do a really good watercolor painting. And I like to do detailed stuff, you can tell. It's like as I'm sitting here and doing this drawing. When this is done, I will turn it into, I will detail it up a little bit more. I'll heavy up the lines, all the outlines. I will heavy up around the colobus. I will heavy up around the K. And this will be a coloring book page. So I will have a coloring book page first. And I'll scan it in and clean it up. And then the next video you see on this one will be painting it. And painting it actually takes less time than drawing it. But, so you've gotten a little bit of information about my life and how I started and where I've been. And yeah, a little bit of information on the Colobus monkey. He's going to be really cute when he's done. But that's the fun thing about these two is trying to fit an animal into a letter. And here's another thing that's really good in a sketchbook. If you're working on a sketchbook, use the alphabet as your, if you can't think about something to do in your sketchbook, just think A. What can I put in here that's an A? B. What can I put in here that's B? And you don't have to put the alphabet down. That just gives you something, a hook to get you to start that drawing, to do something, considering, or do 10 pages that is one kind of animal, or and go online and Google octopus. Oh, I did an octopus one morning. I Googled octopus and I did one page just filled with octopus, just because it was fun to do. And that's how you get your mental vocabulary expanded as well, because now you've learned how to draw an octopus, or now you've learned how to do suckers on tentacles, and then you can add those suckers on tentacles to the next alien that you draw. And that's about it for now. That's our King Colobus in ballpoint pen, and the next one will probably be painting of this thing. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate your time, appreciate your being here. If you can, join my Patreon. I post some really fun things there as well. And meet me on the next one. Thanks much. Bye-bye.